Yes, people, hello and welcome back to PLPT. And yes, unfortunately, there wasn't an installment of this new weekly show. People have been asking me, "Oh, the weekly show, it looks so promising. How come you've already decided not to do it anymore?" Just I don't, unless if it's Ruben Amorim, I'm not pulling the plug. Something gonna obviously give it some time. And we are back again with I think episode 2 of our weekly show. So how are you doing? All good?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for having me on again and looking forward to chatting with you again.
Of course, always a pleasure. And to start off the show, I'm sure it's probably something you maybe are not looking forward to talking about. I mean, the team that made my week. I mean
Yeah.
that made my week. If I'm brutally honest. Arsenal played midweek. People, for those who somehow didn't know or maybe forgot, against Wolves, and they dropped points. 2-2 draw. Um, Thoughts on the performance? Pleased? Feeling a bit nervous about in the context of this title race? What are you saying?
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, I don't think it comes as a surprise because I don't think a lot of us were quite confident going into this game, which does speak volumes. I think we haven't been playing the best recently, and I think it's just I'm just tired really. I do feel a bit worried about us repeating patterns from last season. Now we are coming to the end of the season because it's usually around this time where we do fall apart a bit, and I think we are doing that a little bit defensively as well. Um, I think it was just I think with the game, I think it's just a matter of we scored early, we sat back, and then they obviously got. I mean, we were 2-0 up, so you'd expect us to keep a 2-0 lead, especially against Wolves. I think Wolves were actually quite good. I think they have been good this season with their performances. I think you look at the table, you do see a bad team there, but I do think that they have had good performances this season. So yeah, I'm just disappointed really because we keep dropping points. We've not really won much recently. We've had so many draws lately. Like I wouldn't have mind if it was like an odd draw here and there, but yeah, we seem to be struggling at the moment with scoring goals, creativity, and then again you concede goals like that right at the end. It's annoying because I was really hoping we would see the game out, and I think a lot of us fans would have just taken that 2-1. It wasn't comfortable, but we got the job done. So it's just frustrating, really, dropping more points and yeah, Man City probably will overtake us, which is just frustrating, really, because I really was hoping we could do it this season. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but I think it's just not looking good right now for Arsenal.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think the part that for me, if there's any sympathy that I have for Arsenal fans, it's feeling tired of
Yeah.
boring terror squad football. I mean, the last two managers of my football club love that style of play. So I do, sympathize from that point of view. I absolutely do. And one thing that I will say is I feel like with this, especially dropping points to Wolves, and of course also, I didn't. It was, the Molineux is never an easy place to go to, but you know,
Yeah.
at least from my point of view, I'm thinking if a Ruben Amorim Man United can go away to the Molineux and not just win 4-1, but look like they actually play attacking football, then surely Arsenal at the bare minimum can get 3 points. And I
Yeah.
was genuinely shocked by how poor Arsenal were in
Yeah.
and what do you put that down to for this game in particular? Is it down to the manager? Would you say it's more on the players? Maybe a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of everything. I think Arteta probably did make. I think the problem that I back on now, it's been a few days, is that we really should have gone with a rotated squad and we didn't. And for me, I wasn't too bothered about the lineup, but I do think looking back, we should have played Norgard, we should have played Eze, Saka should have been probably on the
Mm,
right hand side. maybe we could have played Trossard. So I think you look at the players. I mean, Timber again. It's difficult because
He was poor. He was
it's
very, very poor.
it's so tough because he's just he's recovering. He's okay now from his ACL, but he's been played too much for
From his
me. And
ACL.
yeah, and the issue that I've got is with
Mm.
Ben White, he doesn't probably he's not really someone who's reliable. He gets injured a lot, so
Mm.
I think he should. I think Ben White should have started. I think Timber needs to have a rest. I think Zubimendi needs a rest. I think you could see on midfield we look tired, and obviously that isn't really an excuse. Arteta needs to rotate, and we would have a much more energetic team. You know, whether you want to play Lewis Skelly in midfield, Norgard in midfield, you just have to change it up really. So I think that was the biggest problem, to be honest with you. I think it's difficult because I think if we'd have won 2, I would have taken that, obviously. So I think looking at the back, I think we're just making silly mistakes in those final moments where you want to see these games out. So I feel like we are panicking a bit. I mean, I think Raya was a little bit erratic as well. I think Gabriel Saliba could have been better. So I do think it's a mixture of things, but I do think Arteta has got to rotate the squads the best he can because, so many players are playing 2 times a week and you can see they're exhausted. So I think we had to make some changes really, and I think Arteta didn't do that. And especially now we've got that big game against Tottenham this weekend. I probably think the players were thinking about that a bit more than this game. But yeah, I think it's a bit of everything. I think the players need to be responsible, but at the same token, I think Arteta is definitely responsible as well for me.
No, absolutely. And a couple of players that I think are worth mentioning. Obviously, you know, I mean, even those who've been living under a rock will, at this point, should know that. Yeah, Bukayo Saka, the new signed and confirmed his new contract with the celebration as well. New 5-year deal till 2031. I think he's
Yeah,
now your club's top earner on 300 grand.
yeah,
But since those reports are coming out, I don't know, a little while ago, and the performances definitely for sure dipped. Are you concerned by that? And obviously, Eze will um will definitely get more into because it's not looking like at the moment it's not working out. But for Bukayo Saka, are you worried?
it is difficult because I think with his contract, I think the timing wasn't the best timing, but I do think it's the right thing for him to be a big part of our future. He's helped us over these past few years. I do think that I don't think it's a coincidence that basically all of our attacking players are not doing good. I do think Arteta needs to get more out of them, to be honest with you. It was difficult because Saka got a goal early on against Wolves and, good header, good cross from Rice, and then he fizzled out like a lot of these players have done. And I don't really know why these players, especially our attacking players, aren't performing as good as they should be because I just think we look tired. We just have been so poor this season. I know Saka has been someone who has carried Arsenal these last few years, and he has dropped off. You can't deny that. The goals
He
he's
looks
getting,
burnt out. He looks
I think,
so
yeah, I
burnt
think
out.
that's what it is. It's difficult,
So
isn't it?
does
'Cause
Timber as well.
yeah, I think our squad right now is burnt out, and I think we're coming to that point of the season. We've got 11 games left in the league. We obviously got big games in the Champions League in the final. It's just difficult as well because with Marino and Havertz, you could really need them at this time of the season. And yeah, I think we're burnt out. I think, like you said, that's what it is. I think you're noticing it more with maybe Timber or Supermendy. But a lot of these players are tired, and it's really difficult as well because I think with Madueke, I think he's a decent player, but I think what I've noticed this season is that we don't really have many sort of level raisers that are going to really take us to another level, win us these games, and yeah, I think these players are tired. Saka has done a bit better maybe his last 2 games, but yeah, I think the season is just. I hope it doesn't end the way I think it's going to end, but I do think that we have to just rotate as much as we can now because we've got we've got a good amount of depth here to make some changes as well. Obviously, like I said, Norgard's going to be very helpful for us. He's been amazing. You've got Lewis Skelly, who's barely played any minutes this season. He's actually probably got so much energy to give. So I think we need to start giving players that maybe haven't had as many
What's
minutes a
happened
bit. Yeah,
to him? Honestly,
I know it's so
no,
tough this
definitely.
season. It's so difficult because I think this season it's difficult. We've not really played that great, to be honest with you, but we've got the results, so none of us have really been too fussed about that. But now we're start. I think as fans, we're starting to panic a bit now. I mean, it's difficult because we could get to a cup final, lose that, and lose the league. It could really go either way. To be
Hmm.
honest with you, it's so tough at the moment.
No, absolutely. And one thing that a player that, yeah, we definitely need to talk about, Eric Eze, because if there's one thing that you make a great point on, especially with the Noni signing, even in the summer, I bought some stuff. You needed a winger, and there were, you know, a myriad of options. And what
Yeah,
does Arteta decide to do? To see who he can save from Chelsea next. As you said, not Noni's he's a decent player, Premier League quality, but is he going to be the person? Is he going to be the player that's going to be real serious for Arsenal to help get them over the line? There are probably better options.
yeah,
With all due respect to Noni, and I think quality as well. I mean, Martinelli, we know his limitations. He was, yeah, less than ideal against Wolves, poor, um, as well. And for once, Victor Gyökeres, actually hasn't been the most talked about attacker in regards to just poor performances. He actually wasn't in really this time, but Ebere Eze, I feel sorry for him because he is a
yeah.
player of immense quality. I rate Ebere Eze very highly. He's a wonderful footballer, but what on earth has happened to him? I know his performances haven't been great, but or do you think the treatment from the manager has also been a bit wrong as well? What do you think's wrong with Eze at the moment? And do you think that he'll be able to find his feet again?
It is a tough question because honestly, I don't know why he's not been doing as good as we've all seen him being. I do think, when you're from Crystal Palace, you come to Arsenal, you've got a bit more of an expectation of you, and you have to win a lot more. You'll be challenging more for titles and things. So I think he's adjusting to the different standard. But I do think that we've seen him have great games. That Tottenham game, he was amazing, and that's exactly what he
Mhm,
needs in like an attacking midfielder. And I think it's been disappointing. I can't deny that, and I actually think Arteta should have. I wanted Arteta to really start him and give him a good run of games and see what he can do. I think he, I think Odegaard's injured. Odegaard has been really poor this
mhm,
season. So I think Eze hasn't really taken all of these opportunities. It's difficult. I don't really know the answer why
mhm,
he's not been doing good because we've really seen him do so well for Palace and he's had good spells at Arsenal, but we've not really seen that enough. Um so yeah, it's difficult. I mean, he was good against Wigan, and obviously I know it's Wigan and it's completely different in the league. But
mhm.
I was hoping that Arteta would start him in that game and see if he could build on that. But
And
obviously
he
he
was
didn't start.
benched.
Yeah, he was benched, and that's gonna hurt a bit. If I was Eze, I'd be thinking I've
Mhm,
done amazing against Wigan. Arteta, it would be nice for you
mhm.
to give me a
You
chance
you
here.
play limited minutes as is, which I
Yeah,
mean for Eze, we've seen it with Arteta. I mean, how Ethan wasn't getting minutes. Ethan Waneri is beyond me. When for me, creativity wise and just on talent alone, he's one of the most gifted players at the club, in my opinion. Ethan's a baller.
yeah.
Um, and how he wasn't getting any minutes. Arteta's not. He doesn't really like footballers, and it's for me it's very clear. And with Eze, I was astounded how he didn't start. And Eze must be thinking to himself, I'm behind Odegaard. I'm behind Havertz. I'm
Yeah.
behind what's his name? And I'm behind Bukayo Saka, who's playing in the 10, who's not even a number 10 ahead of me. Like, if you're a
Yeah.
better Eze, my confidence is non-existent right now, and I do feel sorry for him. But that the move, him choosing Arsenal over Tottenham, yes, it's a wonderful story, but I think for his career, he probably would have gotten just more of more freedom to and the license to just do whatever he wants
Yeah.
at Tottenham. I think not
I think
Arsenal.
I think because the way Arteta is, I do think Arteta has favourites. I think we know when
Oh
everyone's fit,
yeah.
you would pick Odegaard. Odegaard has been very poor for a while now. It's I think if he went to Tottenham, I think potentially he's probably would have done a bit better because I think in a way Havertz was actually doing good in that position and then he gets
No,
injured.
he was
Yeah,
when
and
he come back.
and that's the thing as well. I don't mind like Eze not playing every game. We need rotation, but
No, of
yeah,
course.
I'd be disappointed if I was Eze. I think with Norgard it's a bit different because I think Norgard
Hmm.
probably knew that he wasn't going to be a starter. He was going to be more of a squad player. But I think with
Hmm.
Eze, he's coming to the team. You will know that there's competition there, but you can see Odegaard has been very poor this season. So I just feel, yeah, I hope Eze can pick up form, but Arteta isn't really giving him a consistent amount of games. So I do think that could be a thing why Eze isn't particularly getting into the game because I think if he played for maybe three games, I think we might see a bit of a better Eze. But yeah, I think it's tough with Eze. I do hope that he can find a way in these. We've got big games coming up. Obviously, a cup final. We've got 11 games in the league, so I think these players need to step up and not really hide now. I think it's that time of the season where we just need to get over the line. So yeah, hopefully Eze can get a bit of form, and I do want him to start more. To be honest with you, I do think it's a bit unfair that Arteta played Saka there as well. I think with Saka in midfield, it's something you could probably do every so often, not really on a regular basis because it just didn't work in that game.
No, definitely. And before we look more specifically at a bit of a preview to the North London derby, whether you've seen reports or not, which for me, I think the reports are rubbish, but in case there's any legs to it, I've seen links. Odegaard, as there's been rumors, but I don't really buy it because
Yeah, I
for
don't
those
need.
who
Yeah,
for those who don't, I have my degree in journalism, so obviously I'm going to know the difference between tier one sources and anything less reliable than that. But I was seeing all these stories about Odegaard being linked with Man United, and that he grew up a Man United fan. I don't know if you want to give your thoughts on that, just for how funny it sounds. But what I will say is Odegaard can happily stay where he is. I mean, Odegaard, shout out troops. He described Odegaard as a defensive attacking midfielder, which,
yeah,
he was very funny, but he has a point, though. He
yeah.
he definitely has a point. But do you think at the end of the season, seeing how poor Odegaard's been, that potentially, what happened with Smith Rowe, what happened with Zinchenko, what happened with Jesus, do you think Arsenal have outgrown Martin Odegaard, or do you think that he still has um, an influential role to play? Um,
It's so difficult because what I want and what's going to happen is going to be so different. I think as fans, we probably want Arsenal to be ruthless this summer. Obviously, depending on what happens in this season, but I feel like for me with Odegaard, it makes it even worse that he's our captain because I
mhm.
mean I've not really seen many captains in these last 10 years I've been an Arsenal fan, but is just really poor for me. I mean, I think in the 23 season, he really was incredible, and I really wanted us to win the league, especially for him because he deserved so much credit then. But I just think that we have seen spells this season, not many spells though, when Odegaard's scored, when Odegaard's come off the bench. I mean, in that Newcastle game a little while ago, he really created a great chance and you see glimpses, but for me it isn't enough. So I would move him on this summer. I feel like
Wow.
I did say last season that this season for me is make or break for him. I just feel like I look in that attacking midfield position. I grew up on watching Özil when he was at his best, and I just want
No,
to
yeah,
see that.
different
I want to
levels
see
of
that.
football.
Like maybe we'll never see someone maybe like Özil, but I just want to see that as a fan. I want some excitement, and I do think that is actually a big position in football because it really links you to your attack. It links you to your striker. I think if when Odegaard's back, if Odegaard stepped up in the final we're in, if he scored a few goals, I would probably say to you, do you know what? You've proved yourself now for this. This is like the crucial point in the season. So I think if Odegaard steps up and he scores maybe in a few games or next coming games, whenever I don't know when